Yo, it's your boy Lee, and today I'm about to do yet another minor what if. This is what if Deku was the reincarnation of pain. We all start this off with Deku actually getting his quirk. Fast forward to 2 weeks later after, pretty much knowing that he has a quirk but he can't really use it. It's just that something traumatizing has to happen to him for the quirk to activate. As Deku's kind of getting bullied for this, but eventually he would get home. As a couple of days later, there'll be an attack on the neighborhood. I guess a villain and a hero, I guess they were fighting, and it was really making everything. It was really just making buildings fall, and everybody just had to evacuate the neighborhood just to not die. So pretty much, I'll say that pretty much Deku's pretty much running as he pretty much sees Inko. So because Inko already left the door, he's pretty much behind her as he's following her from out in the neighborhood. And I feel like a beam from a building pretty much falls down between them, and Inko didn't come back to save him. She just looked back at him and just dipped. As he a little mad about that, so he cries, and he pretty much got that feeling in his eyes where what he kind of feels like his eyes kind of hurt. That's when he pretty much falls unconscious, wakes up in the hospital with a broken arm, and now he has to run a gun. So it is what it is. Eventually eventually he would wake up in the hospital and he would see, dang, I got a broken arm. I don't even know what happened. For some reason my eyes hurt, and because Deku still has bandages on his eyes, because even the doctors can tell his eyes is in a bunch of pain, so they just put bandages over them shits. So yeah, eventually somebody with a doctor and a nurse would pretty much come into the room, as they would tell Deku the good news and the bad news. They would pretty much say, the good news, you obviously are alive, but you have some type of problem with you're obviously alive. Yeah, that's good news, but the bad news is that you have some weird reason to have some type of pain in your eyes that was never documented before for you, so I don't know what's going on. And you have a broken arm. Oh yeah, and your mother, she kind of died. No, Deku, he just sitting there, he crying, because that ain't good news. So yeah, Deku pretty mad about that. Eventually, Deku will be taken care of by the hospital and all that shit. He'll learn how to fucking do shit again. This is only a 4-year-old kid. He just literally 3 years ago, he just learned how to walk. He did not have to get a broken arm. Hey, it's a what if. It don't really matter though. So he pretty much would pretty much be in an adoption shelter, I guess. After he's all well and he got a cast on his arm, but he still be training, doing 1-arm push-ups and shit. So yeah, Deku, he's Deku, but he got the Rinnegan. Oh yeah, and there's not there's 6 Dekus and they all got different Nah, I'm not doing that. He just got all the powers. of the Renegon. Cause yeah. So Deku pretty much, I'll say that he gets adopted by Suichi, that fucking cop guy, because why not? There's no other characters I know that's adults, so yeah. So pretty much he gets adopted by them, and Deku, he kind of has a fucking evil plan now. Like he's gonna just destroy every hero, but he gonna keep that to himself, cause his adopted dad is a fucking cop. So yeah, Deku pretty much would go to the same middle school, and people be like, oh yeah, Deku got a quirk, and yeah, people will be asking about it when he would come back, and yeah, he I'll say that I'll just give him Shinra Tensei, and you know how you can pretty much take chakra, but you know how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna have to make him like take, like fucking attacks. Just take like the energy from the quirk, so they can't use it to that until they have more energy for a quirk. I don't know, but hey, you're gonna have to deal with it. So Deku pretty much pulled up at this school, and I'll say it was like a couple of months later. So yeah, they didn't really know what happened to him, but now he back though. So Deku, yeah, that's what he has at the beginning, just Shinra Tensei, and just taking quirk energy. And yeah, you don't gotta cast no more, because how you gonna beat up Bakugo without cast? And yeah, so yeah, Deku, he pretty much would basically, I'll say time skip to middle school, cause yeah, time skip to middle school. It's near the end, just like in the start of the anime, and Deku, I'll say that Deku's not actually going to UA, because yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, I'll say that somebody else went to UA. Just somebody not in yeah, I say that somebody else in the class went to UA. Somebody that actually, goes to UA in the actual anime. So somebody that would usually not be in Deku's middle school. So yeah, that person goes to UA, and that person and Bakugo would go to UA. And Bakugo pretty much mad at that person for going to UA instead of Deku, because Deku ain't applied for it. So yeah, so he pretty mad about how that one kid pretty much applied to UA, and Bakugo, he kind of dropped that for now, because he actually, Deku, he don't like Deku anymore, because Deku's not scared of him, and plus Deku don't even be messing with him like he used to, because yeah, Deku know how he turned out to be, and he kind of a bum. So yeah, he ain't trying to be around him. So Deku would just be leaving the class, but Bakugo and his goons would go follow him, start trying to jump him, I guess, because yeah, they pretty much go after him, and they would find him about to walk home, and they find him around the sludge villain attack. But since Deku would just be so fast, he would already be a little bit past the tunnel. So since Bakugo was running after him, he would pretty much get caught by the sludge villain, and Deku would look back as the other goons would run away like they did in the anime, and Bakugo was just left there. And Deku would walk up to the sludge villain, and he would just looking at Bakugo as the sludge villain, just telling Deku just to leave him alone. But Deku just says, do you need help? Bakugo shakes his head no. So Deku dips. And since they were moving faster, they kind of get there, a couple of minutes before All Might even found the sludge villain again. So, yeah, Bakugo gets suffocated. He pretty much go unconscious. It's he may or may not be dead. That's for somebody else to worry about. But yeah, pretty much Bakugo pull up on him, and not Bakugo, but All Might pull up on Bakugo. All Might pretty much wake him up after pretty much what he did to Deku. He pretty much wake him up with the same thing, and he pretty much says he's about to go, but I guess Bakugo wouldn't really latch on to his shoulders. So yeah. So I guess he wouldn't really get one for all. Or Deku wouldn't either. Yes, I don't know, but it is what it is. So pretty much Deku would get home, and yeah. And, Bakugo pretty much been bullying people. And Bakugo knows that he can do, 2 abilities with his quirk, but he still thinks it's mad weak. So he really just not think that his quirk is really that strong. And he been trying to bully him for it. But that's one of the reasons why Deku don't like heroes no more, because we've seen fucking Bakugo, the strongest supposed hero in the class, and you comparing them All Might, which is the strongest hero of all actual all heroes. He realizes that celebrities just put on fronts and they're not showing their true colors and all that good shit. So he pretty much on that stain shit. So yeah, and Deku pretty much for the 10 months, I'll say he wouldn't really do training, because by this time he would already be able to do Shinra Tensei, take quirk energy, fucking do just fucking shoot missile launchers out his arms, and I forgot the other one. Oh yeah, summon the animal and just go with that shit. So yeah, he can already do that by now, but I'll just say during the 10 months of training, he would during the 10 months of training, I'll say that he would be fucking flying on a summoning. I say it was a summoning bird, and he was just flying on that shit. And he would see Degma Beach, and he would just go right past it, and he would see this, he would see an alleyway as he would see an alleyway, and he would see a poster, and the poster would say join the League of Villains. And yeah, if you wanna destroy every hero, as Deku would pretty much get closer to the ground, undo the summoning, and he will take the paper. The poster would basically give like an address, so Deku would fly on the summoning again to the address, find it, knock on the door, and he would be at the hero for he would be at like the villains fucking bar place. So they're there, and Deku pretty much explains his quirk and how he don't like heroes and shit. So yeah, Deku Deku don't like heroes. And this is before Stain would even come. So Stain's not really here. So yeah, time skip to the end of the 10 months of training, where they would already have a plan. Well, time skip to the end of the 10 months of training, where Deku is actually going to UA for being like an inside fucking job, because it will be easier for them to slip through during the USJ, and so he's pretty much being like a fake UA student, even though he actually is one, but he ain't trying to be a hero. So Deku was going through, and he would be around the time of he would be at the point where the fucking thing, the written test, and he would do it pretty easily. Go to the explanation for the robot exam. He would already have a plan. He would go to the gate. It wouldn't touch him because Deku didn't fall, so he doesn't have to talk to Uraraka. So he would just start flying on a fucking summoning bird. He would make some shadow clones because yes, he does have chakra, and they would just fuck shit up, just doing all types of jutsus that Pain would have, and Deku, I'll say he would use Shinra Tensei when the Zero Pointer would even come close. So they didn't get a point to put Uraraka in that situation where she was about to die, but she was still about to die, so she would still have to thank him, or she would still feel the need to. So he would pretty much Shinra Tensei the robot, and it would pretty much fly back, and yeah, it would kind of break through the other center, and Bakugo, I'll just say Bakugo is near the Zero Pointer. He would just see Deku like a couple of miles away, put his hand out while he's flying on a fucking summoning, and he pretty much did that. And Bakugo, he's pretty mad because he knew that he had a quirk, but he didn't know that his quirk was that fucking strong. So eventually, after Deku getting like 75 points, plus the 60, he has over 100 points. So eventually, after 2 weeks, after reporting to the League of Villains and pretty much telling them about how he pretty much aced the test, and this plan is gonna work out, and they pretty much have a plan B if this whole use J thing don't work out. If this whole use J thing don't work out, we have to do it before. If this whole use J thing don't work out, we gotta do it at sports festival. So yeah, they would pretty much hand Deku this watch, which it kind of has a speaker in, and he can speak to the League of Villains if they have to come at a certain time. So they would actually get there, where All Might would get there to basically have all of his power to use his quirk. So he would get there around that time. Then they would bring out the Nomu. The Nomu would go fight All Might, and everything would happen pretty much at the end.